Hi Countryside, it's Joe Smith, your General Manager, and I'm here again with Mike McDonald, the Chair of our Construction Committee. Mike, happy August, Friday, August 2nd.
Here we are.
Here we are. It's hot and rainy, but progress has continued.
Yeah, we had a monumental month, really.
Yeah.
July, with the slab pour on the 2nd of July.
Yeah.
The walls going up behind us at the Lakeview Lounge. That whole wing is all up and
it's really taking
ready
shape.
for truss. Yeah,
really taking shape. So it's been a couple weeks since our last update.
Yep.
I was out of town for a little bit, and
Sure.
yeah, coming back, standing in the building and looking at what has happened on, you know, the end here near
Sure.
the cart facility, it's pretty drastic.
Yeah, we're ready for roof trusses on that end. I think they're doing about 3 weeks. So sometime around the last week of August, we should be getting the roof going on that end of the building.
Excellent.
Then they can start working overhead with HVAC and water lines and wiring. So
excellent.
That'll be a 30% increase in the area that they have to work out from the weather. So that'll be a big burst of new trade workers and really start cranking up the volume.
Yeah, awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the dramatic change on this side of the building. I mean, just the overall size of the expansion is impressive.
You can really gauge it. I put it in the monthly reports to try to illustrate the spaces. You can start to see how much larger the Lakeview Lounge is, how nice that terrace is. The private dining room, multi-purpose space, card room, you can see how
lots of windows on that side of the building.
Oh yeah, you have 3-side exposure, and you're right in the heart of the campus there with the cart barn, all the golf activities. You can see first tee and green, fairways and green. You can see the putting area, you can see the driving range, and you can actually see down 9 there from green all the way back.
Well, we keep talking about that view. It's prime real estate, and when it's finished, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, you'll really have a sense of community when you're in the building there or outside, because you're right in the middle of all the activity.
All the activity, awesome.
Yeah.
So before we move on to kind of the area we're standing on, I want to just kind of forward look a little bit. We do have some work happening in a couple weeks in the cart staging area. So we're going to get a separate communication out to the community specifically on what to expect in that area, because it will affect the bag drop and cart traffic and how the flow of traffic all happens through the staging area. But essentially, they're going to start all the work on the outside of the fence, the paver area, the landscape beds, and that's going to last about a month or so.
Sure. Yeah, with the edge of building complete there, they can now clean up the site work, get things graded correctly. We're adjusting the car path just a little bit there from maybe 50 feet.
Right.
So it's time to really get that area cleaned up and final graded, ready for pavers and so forth.
This is their last chance as far as like the best time of year to do that?
Yes. Yep.
So I apologize in advance for those of you who are down here, but we're going to have a little bit of disruption, but more to follow on that in a separate video.
Sure.
So we are standing in the future kitchen space.
Yes.
And it's probably going to be hard for those watching the video to kind of gauge where we're at, but this has changed quite a bit in the last couple weeks. I see there's a lot of underground work happening, and we've got some areas formed out. Tell me about what we're looking at in here.
So all the plumbing drains are down for floor drains and sink drains and so forth, and it's been backfilled for the moment. But we're getting ready to pour the recessed slab to my right, which is the pantry where we have salads and desserts. It's a walk-in cooler.
And that'll be accessible from both sides, which is efficiency-wise a really big improvement.
Right. So that's a recessed area, so they could put insulation down, pour the slab over that. So rebar's set, welded wire fabric is in.
Excellent.
And the poly. So we're ready for pour there. And then behind us is the beer cooler. You can see the orange spray paint on the main beer lines. That's also been recessed so we can insulate it, and the rebar's in, and we're ready to pour that as well. So those are the 2 interior coolers that are not associated with our main food fridge and freezer. So those are the cooler areas. They're getting ready to go. They've also started excavating the perimeter, getting the rebar in. So pretty soon we'll be staging a slab pour here inside the old kitchen area.
Right. And this space has increased in size considerably.
Sure, almost doubled.
Kind of the heart of the the club.
Yep.
And what you're seeing behind us here, this is all this was the Seaside Bar.
Right.
And this will all eventually be back of house space.
Sure. To the left of the beer cooler is the dishwash area.
That's right.
Then the cooler. So we captured all that real estate, plus the existing kitchen, plus the addition.
Yeah.
So we've almost doubled the square foot. And then the section to our south, which is where we'll have the kitchen for the pool cafe.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Excellent.
Great piece of real estate.
So let's talk about what's going on to the south here. We're kind of moving in that direction, right? I think in one of the previous videos you said everything over here is about 2 or 3 weeks behind this side of the building.
Yep.
So what can we expect to see in the next several weeks?
So in 2 weeks from Friday, which is today, they're going to pour the slab at this end. I'm not sure they're going to do the whole thing, but I think they are. Because the pool cafe is ready, the formwork of the edge of slab has been set, and that had to be, that's lower than the center where the bar is, so that any rain that blows in will pitch and drain to the edges. So they've set that edge, all the underground is in place, so they just need to put down the poly and the welded wire mesh, and good to go there. The new kitchen area for pool cafe, they're finishing up the underground right there at this point. And then to the west is the kitchen expansion, the main electrical room, the bathroom for the employee lounge. All of that underground is completed. On plumbing side, they're still doing some electrical. And in the corner where all the gray conduit is, that's our main electrical closet.
That's right.
So everything comes out of the transformer that's in front of the building, goes underground to that room. And then from there, anything that has to be served underground electrically has been stubbed in with conduit. Other services electric will go overhead, but so that we're ready to pour in that corner as well.
Excellent.
So we're really getting everything buttoned up for that 10 working days from now to get that slab down.
Excellent.
And judging by what happened at our north end, the walls will go up the next day. Take about a week or so. A little more complicated on this end because there's a lot more real estate, but we're really flying.
Right.
It's looking good and progress is excellent.
I think when they start pouring the slabs on this side of the building, just like you did on this side, you're really going to start to see the perspective of that overall footprint and how large it is. This side, the more we stand out here in what will be the pool cafe, similar to what you mentioned on the Lakeview Lounge side of the building in terms of like being a hub of social activity, we're going to have the same type of environment over here because you're literally footsteps from the practice range. And I think it brings will bring a whole new social element to the club with the outdoor dining and the pool and the proximity to the range. It's going to be pretty neat.
I could see some maybe small time betting on how well somebody's going to hit their practice shots.
Listen, we can't talk about that on camera, Mike. What the members do in their own time
is... That's what I'm saying. You'll be able to sit, sip your beer, and watch, make remarks about your friends hitting their golf balls. Because, you're going to have a stadium view there. In the shade, drinking a cold one, and you're going to survey the entire driving range. It's pretty good.
I was leaning more towards the driving range becoming more social in terms of having a food and beverage element there.
But I'm not ruling out some heckling.
Hey.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know. But that's encouraging. So in the next probably I would say 4 to 6 weeks, we're really going to see the overall footprint take shape and probably some elevation on this side.
And then they could move to clean up that site area and start focusing back on the inside with all the rough-in overhead. We have all the HVAC under the old roof is in. Most of the water piping, the electricians really got mobilized this week, so they're running wires overhead. We have temp lighting now. As soon as these slabs are down inside, we're going to be able to get the light gauge metal framing going. In anticipation of drywall, but that lets the electricians rough in the walls for outlets. So it's moving along well here.
That'll be great too. I'm glad you mentioned the interior framing. When the walls start going up and we do some of these videos, I think people will get a good perspective of the space planned out inside. Right now it's still just a shell.
We'll have to walk through doors at that point instead of walking through the holes in the walls.
That'll be great. That'll be really great. So excellent. I don't want to put you on the spot, but thinking, it's hard to believe we're already through summer. October's literally around the corner. As members start to come back, what do you think they can expect to see as far as the project? It's sometime mid-October.
Yeah, I think the building will look complete from the outside. The doors and windows should be in. We're going to turn on the main power in around November, 1st of November.
Okay.
And then the air conditioning will come on. So we will have a dry building with roof in all areas, the doors and windows in, and really get the interior environment conditioned so we can start putting in the sheetrock and eventually painting and all that. So right now it's time so that switchgear arrives in October, mid-October. We'll get it energized by the 1st of November. Get the rooftop units turned on so the AC is running inside, and the building is then operating on main power. So that would leave us 5 months for all the finished trades, which is hanging the drywall, priming, painting it, eventually floor finishes, wall finishes. Get the ceilings framed and drywalled. So that's a key milestone, early November, to get that AC turned on. And the building outside will look pretty finished. Site work should be cleaned up, not planted, but at least there'll still be dirt around the perimeter, but it'll be all at the right levels. So you really get a sense of how the building meets the ground at the various corners.
That's going to be exciting.
And well along. And we should be into the pool by that time. I haven't seen a schedule yet. We're waiting on those fabrication drawings. But I got to think the pool activity would get going right about that time.
know. I mean, obviously, there's still a lot of equipment that needs to travel through that area. So I know, Charlie was saying that they were kind of targeting that towards the end. Or after a lot of the major, obviously, concrete and roof work happens here. But that's going to be exciting.
We also got the wells drilled, the geothermal wells for the pool. So for now, they're just capped. It's 2 4-inch pipes, I think, maybe 6. And they go down about 60 feet. So one's a supply, one's a return. And they're out off the corner, south of the corner of the
kind of behind 10 T-box, that area.
And they're separated by 150 feet or so. So eventually the pool equipment will be over in that area, and we'll be pumping the pool water. In the summer, we'll pump it into the ground to cool it off a little bit, and in the winter, we'll do the reverse. We'll try to add a few degrees. But so that system's in, and that was a bit of a large piece of equipment for a couple days, but good to go there.
Excellent. So we're still targeting March.
That's what they're telling us. I have my doubts on some days, and when I don't see a lot of guys on a certain day, I ask our superintendent. He's on track. He says till for right now the date is March 29th. The change order had a couple of weeks to it, but our super says he thinks he can beat that as long as he's getting the answers he needs, and the equipment that's been ordered is coming on time. So we're not really seeing any signs of the supply chain issues. The electrical gear has always a long lead item, and that's our 5-month switch gear. Everything else seems to be
there's
doing fine.
Really no concerns. I know early on, a year and a half ago, there was a lot of concern with walk-in cooler boxes. And that's completely
roof trusses. There were a lot of things that were a problem depending which states those items were manufactured in. Some states were closed for COVID longer or had certain industries impacted. So it seems like the system is flowing as it should now, and we have not been alerted to anything that's going to be a problem.
Good stuff. Anything from the committee that you want to share? I mean, you guys still are meeting every other week. In fact, you're going to start meeting kind of a short meeting in between the larger meetings, just as things are progressing.
We've added a weekly check-in with our site superintendent from Heatherwood, Charlie Crouch. We want to make sure Charlie's getting everything he needs. And going twice a month with our meetings, I think there's too much time between decisions, and some of our architects, engineers are not responding as quickly as we'd like. So we're going to do a weekly meeting, and we're just going to ask Charlie, what's on your hit list this week?
What do you need?
Who's holding you up? What decisions do you need? Which subs does your office need to kick and into gear? So we think that'll put the focus on Charlie, because he's the guy driving the bus right now. He's
great, by the way. He's doing an awesome job.
He's our lead guy and very confident. We met him at the interview.
That's right.
Part of the reason we like this company, and he's a seasoned guy. He's done a lot of similar work. So we just want to make sure he's got all the tools he needs to do the job. And right now, decisions not made can slow him up. So that's that. That's our meeting schedule. We're still presenting to the board monthly, and monthly report will be out back to your desk tomorrow for the month of July. And the committee did an intensive review of the change order. I know we've reported this to the board. Initially, we were presented with a $180,000 change order. We had a lengthy meeting at the Heatherwood office, went line by line, and we took $60,000 out of that change order. So now we're basically splitting half of a change order that's about $120,000.
That's right.
So it only impacts our contingency $59,000. And so kudos to the members of our committee, Sal and Sergio, who really drove that. And I think the committee did an excellent job.
You guys are definitely dialed in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, some of those charges are legitimate, but some of them I think were either miscalculated or misappropriated. So we're pleased to get that behind us, and we don't really see anything on that magnitude.
Yeah, that one really encompassed all the surprises we had.
Yeah, all the field changes and any of the bid issues that we had from the budget cutting exercise. So we're in a solid position. Our contingency is over $500,000. I'm confident we'll have some money at the end to do some of the things that we deferred when we were cutting the budget. We want to put roll down storm shutters at the pool cafe, shades and screens for insects. We want to clean up the front door, some of the things we've identified before.
Bathrooms.
And it looks like now we'll have some money in the kitty to focus on the cleanup of that. That's what the old bathrooms need some work.
It's high on my list.
Yeah, there you go. I keep forgetting that one, but we did not plan originally to do any work in the main bathrooms, but as we get the rest of the club up to brand new condition, they're going to look a little tattered.
You can notice it.
So I think we should be in a financial position to do all the things we want to do. And none of those are anything that's impacted by today's schedule, like the roll down shutters. We're going to put the electrical power supply above the ceiling in the location it needs to be, so we can do the shutter itself later on.
That's right.
And hopefully in the last months of the project, but if we did it next year, we'd be ready for it.
Relatively easy.
Sure.
Well, that's good stuff. Looks like we're moving along, heading in the right direction. You and the committee are continue to do a tremendous amount of work. So,
you bet.
On behalf of the community, thank you for your service and your counterparts on the committee. We're in good hands.
Yes.
So
excellent.
Awesome. Well, as always, any questions, comments, you can send them our way. You know where to find Mike. You know where to find me. We're back on a schedule with these videos, so we'll be every other week or so. And then the website, of course, continues to be a good source of information. So, Mike, as always, thanks for the time. Countryside, we hope you're excited. We certainly are, and we'll see you around the club real soon. Thank you.